Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Margarita and today I'm here to bring you my May wrap up. So, sorry I look a little crazy. It's been one of those days and it's been so long since I've filmed, I've just decided I'm gonna sit down and film. So here we are. So I read, I think, a total of 13 things in the month of May, which is really great. Got out of my reading slump, which I'm very, very proud of. So I'm going to talk about these in the order that I read them, again, because I'm too lazy to actually sit down and make an actual list. So I have Goodreads up, so that's what we're going to do. So the first thing that I read this month was Moonstruck Volume 2, Some Enchanted Evening. I got this on Hoopla, and this is the sequel to Moonstruck, which is about two werewolves who fall in love, and it's super cute. I love the art style. I loved this one not as much as the first one. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars, but I still really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. The next book that I read was Taproot by Keezy Young. I also gave this 4 out of 5 stars. This is a graphic novel about a young man who can see ghosts, and he becomes friends with a couple of these ghosts and the shenanigans that go on that way. It was really heartwarming, really, really great. Would be a great graphic novel to read for Pride Month. So if you're looking for any recommendations for Pride Month, I would definitely pick it up. Art style was absolutely beautiful. Highly recommend it. The next book that I finished in May was The House Girl by Tara Conklin. I listened to this as an audiobook and I really, really enjoyed it. So this follows two different timelines. One is, I believe, either the late 1700s or the early 1800s, and it follows our main character Josephine, who is a house girl. She is a slave that works in the house and she wants to run away, and that's where the story starts with her. And it also follows a main character in our day who's Lena, and she's a lawyer, and she gets pulled into this case about you know, trying to make up for all the slavery and injustices that happen in the world. And so Lena starts to learn more and more about Josephine, and it's their stories and kind of how they connect, and it's really, really good. I really enjoyed this. Totally took me by surprise. Was not expecting to enjoy this as much as I did. I think the audiobook definitely helped, and I'm really upset with myself for having this on my shelves for so long, not read. So highly recommend. I really enjoyed it. The next book that I read was His Majesty's Dragon by Naomi Novik. This is basically a Napoleonic War reimagining with dragons, and it is absolutely amazing. Temeraire is our main character. He's the dragon, and he's so smart and so wonderful, and I love him so much. And what's his name? Lawrence is his person and is his captain, and is so sweet, and he used to be a Navy captain, and once this dragon is born and it imprints on him, he's the only person that can ride this dragon when it gets older. And it's basically their bond and their relationship, and it's so beautiful. It's absolutely wonderful. Dragons are so precious. I want to own one. There's one dragon in this series that I just wanted to hold and give all the love and all the support, and oh, he was so sweet and I loved him so much. So I highly recommend this if you like dragons, because this is awesome. The next book that I read was the first book that Sarah told me to read, and that is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. This is, I guess, the first book in a series by him, and it basically follows our two main characters. Gosh, what is his name? I think it's like Adam or something. Of course, now I'm not going to be able to find it. But it basically follows our main character, Arthur, that's his name. It follows Arthur, whose house is set to be destroyed, bulldozed to make way for an interstate, and he's very, very unhappy about this. So he wants to, you know, protest, and he's sitting in front of his house trying to save his house. And his friend comes up and says, "We need to go to the pub right now. Absolutely right now." And he's like, I'm kind of busy at the moment. but they go to the pub and the world is ending and it's so good, and it was really funny. It was really cute. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Highly recommend it. Super cute. I don't know if I gave ratings for the other ones. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Let's get back to the ratings. Margarita, get it together. The next book that I read was Heavy Vinyl Volume 1 by Carly Ustin, and this is basically, I want to say it's like set in the 80s maybe. Girl gang, badass, super awesome graphic novel. It was great. Basically follows this group of girls who works in this vinyl shop and the shenanigans that they get up to, and it's so cute. Another one that would be good for Pride Month. Just saying. Hit up the graphic novels. There are some really great graphic novels out there. The next book that I read was The Vine That Ate the South by J.D. Wilkes, and this is a Southern Gothic novel. I don't really know how to describe it. It's weird AF. It's super weird. There are some like actual drawings that the author did. I think he also designed the cover, and it's really cool. But this basically follows our main character. God, what's his name? I can't remember names anymore. Anyway, it follows our main character who has decided that he is going to go to this house that is supposedly taken over by kudzu, which is this vine that is slowly taking over the South. And there's this legend about this house where these 2 people died in the house, and the vine slowly ate the house and then ate them. So this house is like legendary. It's super spooky, and he's decided that he is going to go to this house with a friend of his, Carver. Funny, I remember the friend's name, but not his. But basically, they're going to go to this house to prove that his arch nemesis has never been there, because his arch nemesis stole the woman of his dreams. And it's really, really weird. It has Annihilation-esque vibes to it, where it's just kind of like, what is happening? I really enjoyed it. I thought about it for a really long time. I wasn't sure what rating to give it, but I think I've settled on a 4 out of 5 stars. I'm definitely interested in rereading this book later on and seeing, you know, what things I didn't catch in the beginning and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, I really enjoyed it. I would recommend it. Give it a try, see if you like it, if you like weirder things. The next book that I read was The Little Red Wolf by Emile, I can't say French words, Fléchai. I'm sorry, it's French. I don't speak French. Everybody's gonna be like, that name is so easy, but not for me. Basically, this is Little Red Riding Hood told from like where the wolf is, Little Red Riding Hood, and it's so cute. This little wolf decides to go, he's sent to his grandmother's house to deliver rabbits because his grandmother is super old and can't hunt for herself anymore. So he goes on this adventure, and it is so precious. The artwork, first of all, absolutely gorgeous. I loved it infinitely more. Like, it's just so good. So, and the story itself is really cute, how it takes, you know, you think that the wolf would be the bad character in this story, but it's not. So just, please pick it up. The artwork is gorgeous. It is wonderful, and it's definitely worth picking up and reading. It's going to take you 20 minutes, if that. It's so good. Okay, the next book that I read was Squids Will Be Squids, Fresh Morals and Beastly Fables. This is by John Ciesica and Lane Smith, and this I picked up because the artwork just looked really cool and like weird, and I'm all for that kind of stuff. The actual contents of the book I thought were like meh. Like, there was one thing about elephants, and there was another, like, there were like 3 or 4 fables about you should always call home no matter what the situation is, and it was just okay. I mean, it wasn't anything great, but I thought it was worth picking up from the library and giving it a shot again. I would mostly recommend this for the artwork, not so much what's in it, but I mean, I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. It's not bad. I gave The Little Red Wolf 5 out of 5 stars, if I didn't say that. It is so good. So precious. Everybody read it, please. I loved it. The next book that I went into a children's section of the library and took all the things, if you can't tell. So the next book is Nightlight by Lorena Alvarez. Words are hard today. And this is absolutely stunning. The artwork in this, absolutely stunning. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. The art, like, I just can't tell you enough. Hold on, let me find like a really amazing page. Look at this. I want to hang this on my walls. Is it in, like, I want to hang this picture on my walls. It's absolutely stunning. And it's about this little girl who at night, you know, she sees these lights and she draws and she makes this world. And there's this ominous figure trying to, you know, sneak in. It's really, really cute. I think that this is like the first in a series, and if that is true, I'm definitely going to be picking up the rest in the series. Anything that this artist puts out, I want to read, I want to look at. It's just absolutely stunning. I need more. Like, look at that. Look at the colors. Look at the... So beautiful. Almost done. So the next book that I read was Quiet Girl in a Noisy World, an Introvert's Story by Debbie Tung, and I read this while I was in California with a friend of mine. It's her book, and honestly, it is the cutest little graphic novel or graphic memoir. I don't know what it would be considered, but it's so cute, and it's basically about this girl who's a severe introvert and how she struggles with, you know, working and socialization and all those kinds of things, and how she thinks she's really weird because she doesn't like doing it. But it's just so good, and I was like, who wrote this story about me? This is gorgeous. And highly recommend it. I gave that 5 out of 5 stars because it felt like my own story. The next book that I finished was The Beast's Heart by Leif Shallcross. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and it focuses mostly on the Beast's perspective. And this one was really good. The story was interesting, and I enjoyed the story. The writing, I felt, could have had more to it. It was very like plain and boring writing, and I feel like with this kind of story, something more beautiful would have been more appropriate and would have captured my interest more, if that makes sense. But I really enjoyed it. This mostly follows the original fairy tale pretty well, I want to say. So I liked this. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. Not my favorite Beauty and the Beast retelling, but definitely a really good one. The next book that I read is Everyone is an Alien When You're an Alien Too by Johnny Sun, and it was so sweet and precious. It is another graphic novel. I was really behind on my Goodreads challenge, so I was like trying to catch up as quickly as I could, and I found all these graphic novels. Not that I have to explain myself to anybody. And I read this one day while I was at the library waiting for my friend to finish with work, and it was so good. It's so cute. It's about this little alien who comes to Earth to learn about humans, and he learns all these things that have nothing to do with humans. It's really cute. The next book that I read was Tin Man by Sarah Winman. This book, so good. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It's basically the story of these 2 childhood friends and what happens in their lives. And it's just, I don't want to say too much because it's actually a really short book. The cover itself, absolutely stunning. But the book was so beautiful, and the story is so sad, and it just broke my heart. Highly recommend it. Please give it a try. It's not gonna take a lot of your time. Really good. Really tragic story. Loved it a lot. 4 out of 5 stars. 5 out of 5 stars. What am I saying? 4 out of 5? 5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I finished was Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. This is a book that I had read when I was younger. I really love Howl's Moving Castle, the movie. So when I found out that it was actually a book first, I read it. Completely different from the movie. Let's just start right there. But the book itself is really interesting and really cool, and where it does deviate is really interesting. I don't want them to touch Howl's Moving Castle, the original, but I also want them to adapt it to be more like 2 versions. One is the original and one to be more like the book, because I feel like it would be really, really interesting. And basically this follows our main character, Sophie, who is placed under a curse by the Witch of the Waste, and she's now like 90 years old when she's really only 18 or 20 or something like that. And it's basically her story and her shenanigans with Howl, who is this wicked wizard who eats girls' souls. It's so good. I absolutely loved it. 4 out of 5 stars. And the last book that I read was Monstrous by Marcy Kate Connolly. And this was recommended to me by my friend Sarah. We went to the children's section of the library and she picked it up and put it in my hands and said, "You need to read this." And that's all I needed to know. So I'm reading it, or well, I read it, and it's so good. It follows our main character, Chimera, who is basically, she was murdered by this evil wizard, and her father brings her back to life, but he brings her back as something more than just a little girl. He gives her a snake's tail, which has a barb that puts people to sleep, raven's wings, and cat's claws and eyes. And she is tasked to go into the city of Briar and take girls because the wizard has cursed all the girls in this city in particular. So she's supposed to go in every night, pick a girl, bring them back to her father so that he can cure them and send them off somewhere else so that the wizard cannot reach them. And it is that story, and it's just so good. And the ending, I was not expecting the ending at all. It absolutely was so good and so sweet. And as soon as I finished the book, I was like, 5 out of 5 stars. This is amazing. And then I took a step back. I was like, it is good, but it's not 5 out of 5 stars. So this I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend reading it. It was one of those middle grade books where it's actually it has its really dark moments, and I love books like that. So I highly recommend this. Give it a read. So those are all of the books that I read in the month of May. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these books, your thoughts and opinions on these books, and I will talk to you guys next time.